Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it.
Welcome to Orange Talk on Bayou City Soccer. We are pleased to be joined today by Houston Dynamo defender Erik Sviatchenko. Erik, thanks for the time. How are things going?
Yeah, of course. Always want to help out, and it's going really well. We think we're starting to look more and more like ourselves, so we have like some confidence to build on, and that's so important right now coming into these two next home games. But we'll take the first one.
Yeah, Erik, obviously you're back into the starting lineup after dealing with some injuries earlier this season. How's that journey been for you physically, mentally?
It's been a bit frustrating, especially coming off from a very, very long off season. Like did everything as I was supposed to, did even more, and felt like I was in a great shape. But then it was a little bit with my green card appointments. It was kind of delayed, and I was a week late into preseason, and apparently that's a critical point, being one week late into preseason, because I've been struggling like to get a grab of everything. But luckily I'm not a broken record. I'm back, and I feel like I'm really healthy, and physically I'm at a good spot right now. Now it's just about keeping healthy and getting those kind of minutes after minutes.
Yeah, and obviously having that time off the pitch, does that change your perspective or your appreciation for the game in any way, Erik?
100%. It's like night and day. Football is a 24/7 thing, and it's so difficult kind of just to pick your brains and be one when you kind of unhealthy and not a part of the squad, and then suddenly being in. It's just two different environments, and I just felt a switch when I was back training, and I felt healthy and came in Portland and felt great, and then from there it's just kind of, yes, this is my kind of arena, this is my habitat where I'm kind of thriving. So yeah, I feel it's great, and also just knowing the impact that I have on my team and teammates it gives me a confidence to do my best every single day, because I know how much it means to have our best players and have our best kind of momentum going.
Yeah, I know you worked a lot with Mikael when he was here. Now Femi has come into the first team, getting a lot of minutes. You guys have started to play a lot more together. What stood out that you've seen from Femi so far, and how have you been helping him?
No, it is exactly what I appreciate about these kind of new partnerships, that I think I've had a lot of partners throughout my career, and some of them have been younger than me, and Femi is kind of, he's a rookie, but he's 24 years of age, so he's not a young boy. He knows what's this world is about, but of course he's learning every single game, and I think the praises for Femi especially is, for me, very, very high. Like, even though we have struggled in games, I think he has had a consistent and like inclined level. He's very coachable. He's learning quickly, and I think you guys also mentioned that play that he had against Galaxy with Paintil and Peck. That is kind of where he's growing into, like learning so much and being able to close down big games moment. So it's very, very interesting to play with Femi, and we have the same kind of analyst we're working with, and Griff too. So it's kind of a nice little back 3 out of 4 that works on the same kind of principles within the team. So he's done fantastic.
Yeah, so I guess going into the LA Galaxy, Erik, you mentioned a little bit of just that growth that you saw from Femi, but what did the team take away from that draw against Galaxy, and was maybe the message into the training this week?
We felt more that it was 2 points lost than kind of the other way around, because you're going man up after 20 minutes into the game. It kind of is, the game plan goes a little bit out of the window, because it's suddenly a different type of game. Galaxy, they got this kind of high chest moment, and they were just kind of nothing to lose. And we didn't really change our mindset to, we had to do even more. We have to be even more careful on the ball. And they were kind of almost on top of us on moments of the game. We still had moments and chances to win the game, but they also had some moments that we weren't really in control of. There was still a very, very low XG, which is really good trending for our team right now, with the first games where we conceded too many goals and chances. But I think that the aggressiveness and the solidity in keeping the ball and losing the balls on the right moments instead of the wrong moments. Like, we need to keep the ball side to side. We had to tire them out more, and we just didn't do that at Galaxy away. On paper, 1-1 Galaxy, yes, of course, you would probably have taken that. But when you see the game, how it developed, especially the first 20 minutes where we were on top, scored a goal, we should and would have had more out of the game. But again, unbeaten. Now we go 2 games unbeaten. Now it's into the next game against Colorado. It's going to be a very difficult game too. We want to build the fortress at home, and this is the game where we want to begin this. But against the Colorado team that has also come against a San Diego team that was flying, but they got that. So it's going to be a tough game. But we of course has the belief now, and need 3 points.
Yeah, I'll have a follow-up, just a curiosity on my end, I guess, regarding, I would say, focusing on what you can fix right from this Galaxy game, but at the end of the day, like, playing with a man up, it's different. What kind of challenges does that kind of bring into the tactics, I guess, like in that game, if that makes sense? I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I think what I tried to explain is that they changed their kind of game plan. They said, okay, we don't have any middle. We'll just go wide with all the guys. We'll go 100%. And of course, that kind of willingness to risk everything. The opposite sometimes happens when you get a man up, that the willingness to risk and be thinking forward, it lacks. So it's going to be more kind of a defensive kind of structure. Also, being 1-0 up, you think like, we'll be fine, we'll just cruise this home. But we had to change our mindset, and we just didn't, for some spells of the game. And I think that was the crucial part of us not just dominating and getting more chance and just pinning them back. So you would see them defend for much more stretch of the game. They just didn't do that. We couldn't get them pinned back because we didn't keep the ball for longer stretch of the game in their kind of half.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit Colorado, kind of like the Galaxy, very good offensive team. Mihailovic has been playing well. What kind of challenge are you expecting from them? And then another Danish center back you get to see this week. Had Tonka last week, and then Andreas Maxo this week, right?
Yes, exactly. No, Mihailovic has been on fire. Navarro is a well-rounded striker. He has all the attributes you want from a 9. And you have these players around Bassett. So they're a physical team they're kind of not so fussed about intricate passes. So they might be some of the opposite of what we want, but they have some ruthless to their game. Like, if they're pressed, they'll go long and they'll fight for the balls, and they can create chances out of nowhere. So that kind of staying alert for 90 plus minutes, it's going to be a key factor. That as Ben said, like, that key moment can happen any moment. So we got to be on our toes. We got to think worst case and have that knife to our throat. A bit of anxious thinking in a good way. Always be alert. Always thinking, okay, what if?
Yeah, and Ben has mentioned the fact that, the team is going to look very different soon. How is the group staying focused amid those changes, Erik?
No, I think it's a nice thing that we are having these players coming in and soon be able to help out. Everyone is doing their best, but of course we are in a transfer window, and it's closing in soon, and we still have some spots that we want to kind of build upon. And Linji, as we call him, Linger, is a player that's going to be a very, very critical thing for us. I think he brings some grit, he brings some aggressiveness, brings European mindset of knowing that we need to fight for this. Like, I know that there's no relegation in this MLS, but we got to change our mindset to know that every single game counts now. We don't need to look at that table. We just got to take 3 points, and that's the most critical point right now. And That being said, also we have players coming back from injuries, and that's going to be nice to have some different personnel as well that can help us either start the game or change the game, and that's something that's going to help the whole kind of team develop even better.
And moving forward, you talked about some of the new guys. One new guy that you think have some history with, Pablo Ortiz, who was at Michelin with you, right? For a little
Yes,
bit?
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's coming in to join the back line. What do you recall about him, and how do you see him adding to this Dynamo team?
No, I remember Pablo as a great player, left-footed center back, extremely fast, like Mikael fast, if not faster. Uh, long legs and physical, not as kind of bulky type, but just like that package. If we talk about physical package, he has everything you need from a center back. Then it's just the smartness and all these things of defending space instead of defending man, and these things was something that he was trying to develop at Midtjylland. Didn't really break through in Midtjylland. He had some preseasons with me. I remember where he was outstanding, but just didn't cut it. But then he has had some valuable experience in Slovakia, and obviously that's why we're bringing him in, because he has developed into that player that maybe I saw as well, and then that Pat Nash and Ben has seen over the last year and two. So I hope that he'll bring kind of some competition to the center back. I think he'll compete because the spots are not for free, and Femi especially is doing, as I said, fantastic. So it's going to be good with some depth and some competition in the spot.
And the team now knows they'll be facing Phoenix Rising in the U.S. Open Cup. You helped win this trophy back in 2023. What does this competition mean to you?
No, it means a lot. It was a big moment for everyone that was involved in that trophy. First season together, an Open Cup trophy in Miami. Everyone traveled there, family. It was just a fantastic season all over, like MLS as well. We were so close, but got that trophy. So I think it's the closest way to win a trophy. And we got to see it as an opportunity again. It's going to be a tough game against Phoenix Rising. These USL teams, they're not for fun. We knew that from last season. But yeah, first it's this weekend, and then we are ready to take on the Open Cup.
So before we let you go, talk a little bit about Erik, the guy, right? You've been in Houston for a couple of years now. We've seen you on Instagram out and about all the places. What are some of your go-to places here in Houston where you like to hang out?
Oh, there's some great one, Dustyn. Like I have my new coffee spot called Chipola Cafe, which is West Dallas Street or something like that. It is unbelievable coffee. Very kind people. So that's a little bit of shout out to them. But otherwise, like great parks everywhere, like great playgrounds for kids. Restaurant scene is next level. Yeah, I'm keep adding to the list. So if anyone needs any advice, they can just hit me up on this.
You're the guy. We've seen that you seem to be the team barista now. You have your own kind of coffee shop going in the locker room, it looks like, right?
I set up my shop, and the rating so far hasn't been below, like averaging 9 out of 10.
The people love it.
People are everywhere for it, like every day. Like I think I'm starting a business soon.
You got to. Yeah, we'll save us some.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna add. I mean, we do have Joey Stats who does all the ratings for your guys' game. Maybe he needs to test it out and create an article there, man. But hey, we also, Dustyn mentions about your family guy. It looks like you're always out and about, enjoying time as a family. But William, man, your son seems to have a love for the game as well, and he's a goal scorer. So how is that seeing him enjoy a different role than yours, I suppose, man?
Yeah, it's so fun. Like I enjoy watching my son play. He's developing a lot. He's like 9 years old, and that's obviously still a long way to go. But the last kind of 5 games has been 3 goals. But as I said to him, like I don't measure goals. I measure all the other things like hard work and all these things. And that's something that actually the American kids are really high level at compared to Danish players. Like they go hard, they go into the tackles, and there's no kind of they go 100%, and that's what my son needs to learn. So step by step, he's developing. But yeah, his team is good, and he's enjoying it, and we as a family enjoy watching him and his little sister do their kind of activities.
So, obviously he's still young. Does he come to you, talk tactics, or create rivalries with you? How's that vibe with you and your son?
Yeah, I try always to coach him, but with father and son, it's always kind of sometimes he's going to rip my head off, and sometimes I'm going to do the same with him. So I take the parenting role and be the supportive parent, and when I know that he's ready for advice, I'll give him an advice and let him know what he can improve. But of course, we always like battling. When I say something to him, like football wise, he would say, "But you didn't do it like the other day." And I'm, "Yeah, okay, fair enough."
You can't let him dribble by you yet. You still got to make sure he knows, right?
Exactly.
Before we let you go, I know you spent a lot of time in Europe, in MLS, a very different league, right? We've talked about all the differences with MLS and Europe. What's been the biggest differences for you? And there's been talk about now the new calendar, going to the European calendar for MLS. How do you think that would look for MLS, and do you support doing that eventually?
First of all, I would support doing that. It would align everything much better. It just kind of the competition would equal in some way, both transfer windows, but also just the fact that we're playing on the same kind of schedule. I think that would work. And then the league itself is growing. Like the competitiveness of MLS is it's very, very high. No team is really kind of sticking out. All team can win against each other. Obviously, you have these teams as Columbus, Miami, and so forth, the Galaxy team and LAFC. But in general, then you have these teams underneath that can jump up and down. And I think you see that every season. New season starts and everyone is competing for the same, and that's the trophy, and that has a charm to it. But of course, like all that relegation stuff would maybe at some point be an interesting thing to look into with the USL, but it's probably 10 years in advance before that's going to be anything.
Yeah, no, I saw that you were celebrating your, I guess, your third anniversary of being here in Houston. Like, looking back at your time in Houston, Erik, so far, what's been the most rewarding part? Maybe both professionally and personally, and how do you feel that strong connection with the club and the city now?
No, it's been very, very successful, personally, club wise. Just kind of I've been fortunate to be kind of thrown into an organization that is healthy, that is kind, that is helping in the sense of being the mindset of growing. We still have a lot to accomplish, and loads of details that I'm looking into that I want to improve. And that's where I'm poking in to say, hey, can we do this better? Can we do this better? But everyone is on the same page that we want to grow. We want to take the steps forward. And that's a very thriving environment to be in. Training wise, the way that it's set up with all the details, it's second to none. I'm very, very pleased with it. It's high level. So on that aspect, I'm very, very happy to be here and hoping that I can extend this period for longer time. I'm enjoying my life here outside the pitch. The city gives everything that I need. I'll turn down the heat and the humidity if I could, if I was able to, but I'll take that any day still over the cold winters.
Yeah, you get used to it, right?
Yeah.
He is Houston Dynamo defender Erik Sviatchenko. Erik, we always appreciate the time, my friend. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good